Well, hello, all of my crafty friends. Today I'm here for another Joy Claire video, and I am going to be using one of our digital stamp sets that is called Make-A-Wish. So I'm going to bring you over here and let you see what this looks like. This is the Make-A-Wish stamp set. It comes with a bunch of fun images and sentiments that you can use, such as the candles and the presents that can be used as a whole row or a border, and really chunky sentiments. So what I did was I cut out, using my Cricut, all of the images as a border. I used my print then cut feature for this part and allowed it to cut out the actual image. And then I also welded the image to the edge to make a fun fold for our card. So here are some of the colors that we're going to be using for today's coloring, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of the coloring because it's nothing earth-shattering. No major techniques in the coloring for today. So I used mostly 4-color blends, and I always start out just providing a place for my shadows. Then I'm going in with my darkest color, and I'm just going to blend right out to my lightest color. And I am going to do this for pretty much all of the images that I'm coloring today. And I only used 3 colors because I had a color palette in mind based upon the color of pattern paper that I wanted to use as a matte for my card. So I'm using this purple color, a green, and then this RV color because I was going for a nice bright pink color for the 3rd color in my palette. So where I put my shadows basically is wherever one gift is in front of another, wherever the ribbon is going across the gifts, and wherever the tags are. Those are the places that I am looking to create a shadow. And you'll see here in my V color blend, I'm going to go through and do this twice just to make sure I soften up my transitions and ensure that we have a nice smooth variation of color in the entire image. And sometimes you have to do that. Once you get your paper saturated, your inks move so much better, and once they dry, they tend to look a little bit different than they do while they are still wet. So I'm going to go ahead and color up this last one, and these will be the 3 colors that I am going to use for the entirety of this image. Now for the ribbons and for the tags and things like that, you guys know, if you followed me, I love my sparkle. So I used some of my Jelly Roll pens in the gold and in the Stardust in order to color in the ribbons and the tags, just to bring a little bit of sparkle and shine to our images. Again, if you are new to the channel, if you are new to Joy Claire, I just want to say welcome and thank you for being a part of our community. I hope you find something that you love today. I hope that you will subscribe, hit the like button, and as always, please leave me a comment. I absolutely love chatting with you guys down in the comment section, and everything that I use today will be listed in my description box below. So make sure you check out all that blah 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 down in the bottom so that you can get all the information, how to contact me, what I did today, and the things that I'm using. So we are finishing up. I am almost done with the coloring. This was a pretty easy coloring exercise. It did not take me very long to get it done. And so now you see, here is where I brought in all of my little shimmers to make everything kind of pop and give us a little bit of shine. So as we finish that up, we're going to go ahead and set that aside for just a moment so that we can finish up. Now, one of the other things that I did was I cut out that celebrate about 5 times, and then I cut it out once again with some holographic sparkle vinyl, because again, my staple is to add vinyl to the top of my sentiments because I know that it adds a gorgeous effect, and I love this chipboard look, which is why I typically stack up most of my sentiments or some part of my sentiments on my cards. I just love the dimension that it gives. Now here we're bringing in that holographic sparkle vinyl, and these were very chunky, so it was very easy to just peel them away and place them on top with really no issue at all, finishing these up. So now that we have this sparkly celebrate with this beautiful row of gifts, we are going to go in, and this is what I did for the inside. So I took the row of candles, one of the balloons, and a lot of the confetti, and I placed them in different places and allowed my Cricut to draw them so that they would be the inside portion. Now I used this initially, which is my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. I do not recommend this if you are having your Cricut draw, because I forgot that the Cricut is Copic friendly, but is not water friendly. So I had to switch over and finish up with my Jelly Roll sparkle pen and fix one of my boo-boos that came from me forgetting momentarily not to use my Spectrum Noir on my Cricut pens. But this is what we have. I love the sentiment. Now, the enjoy every moment of your day was just something that I had the Cricut write for me. Now I'm going to bring in some green shimmer paper, and I'm going to have that as my initial mat for my card. And then I'm going to bring in some of this pattern paper. This is also from Cricut, and I'll have it listed in the description box. And I'm going to use that as my second mat. I always love to double mat just because I love a nice and sturdy card. I want people to feel like it was something put into it when they get their card. So I really love the feel of a nice heavyweight card. So now we're folding our card base, and I am going to go ahead and start doing what I like to call my dry fit. I'm kind of checking to make sure everything is going to fit the way that I want it to and where I want them to be. Now, one of the other things that I did was I brought in another piece of that pattern paper to put at the top of the inside of my card. One, because I thought the pattern paper was beautiful and I wanted to showcase it. And secondly, because I didn't want to leave that much white space. So I'm doing the same thing that I did for the inside on the outside. I'm putting down my pattern paper layer, and then I'm going to mat that with a layer of shimmer cardstock from Cricut, and that's going to be the front panel of our card with the celebrate. So now you can kind of see how this fold is going to go. We are going to have the gifts that are going to lay down, and then we'll have the celebrate up in the top on the green shimmer cardstock. So I'm going ahead and gluing down our gifts directly to that border. I thought that this was really cute and a fun way to use your digital stamps. Two ways. I had it printed, and then I also welded the background of it to the card base to make a nice fold. So now we're going to go ahead and glue the inside of the card base together, and we're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch border around everything that we are creating today, except that pattern paper mat. I did do 1/4 of an inch border just to try to showcase a little bit more of the paper. I'm going to glue in that top portion as well, and again, this is just 1/8 of an inch border, so I love the way that it looks when you open that up. So now we're going to work on our celebrate and putting that across the top. And initially I was going to just do it straight, but then I decided, ooh, this would look really cute at a curve. And because it is a odd number of letters, I knew where my center letter would need to be and where my highest point needed to be. So it was pretty easy to line up and get things kind of where I wanted them to be so that they looked cute. And by no means am I saying that this is probably perfect, but to the eye, it looks appealing. So I enjoyed it. Now, I did bring in my T-square ruler to make sure that the base of my letters were in the correct place. I did want to make sure that I had the base of this curve in the correct place and at least starting myself out on a good path. And so what I did was I just used my liquid glue. I used art glitter glue from maymaymadeit.com, and I just glued those down, and I did hold them there for just a few seconds because on the shimmer paper, you get a little extra wiggle time. However, if you're wiggling too much, you will be able to see that glue after you're done because it dries clear, but with a little bit of a shimmer. Easily removed with your eraser. So here we go. We have all of that put together. The last thing that I'm going to do is bring in some rainbow rhinestones. Ooh, that was hard. Now, the rainbow rhinestones, they came from Honeybee Stamps, and I have been in love with them. I think that they've probably been on 3 of my 4 last cards, and I'll probably need to order some more. They are super, super sparkly. They have like a rainbow hue to it, so depending on where it hits the light is what color you get, along with that clear diamond effect. So this is what the end of our card is going to look like. I was super, super happy with how this came out. Now, one thing that I will do is I'll sit it under a book so that it can all close down really, really nicely for us. And when the recipient gets it, of course, it'll be in the mail for a while, so it will lay pretty flat when we are all said and done. So I wanted to thank you guys so very much for spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope that I gave you guys some inspiration to use on some of your cards, and I am hoping that you guys have a wonderful day, and make sure you hop over to the Joy Claire shop and look at some of these things. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.